Good morning and welcome to the Drummergy Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Rockfisher. Oh, yeah, let's get a good laugh in right from the start this morning, shall we? Along with some hot coffee, I got a vanilla latte here. I was up against the clock this morning. I was putting vanilla in my coffee, and I got a brand new bottle, and I could not get the wrapper off of it. I fought that thing for like 5 minutes. I don't know why. And of course, the kitchen scissors were missing. So there's always that. Today on the Drummergy Podcast, we will be talking about the best drumsticks, what makes the best drumsticks, and what your favorite drumsticks might be. Thank you, Chris. The countdown's a new thing. Tom Keithley, good morning. Tom, are you doing the NAMM thing? Is that next week? I think a lot of people are getting ready to go, but I've been told the last few years the NAMM show has declined it's declined a bit since the whole shutdown thing. However, I really enjoyed going when I got to go. And what? Tom, no way. The colonoscopy in 45 minutes. You're stoked. Is this your first one? I need to get myself scheduled. And that might be a weird thing to talk about. But speaking of butts, I think it's an important thing to do. Yes, you'll be at NAMM. Cool. Man, I wanted to go to the NAMM show, and breaking your leg will disrupt things in your life. So I still can't walk like a normal person. And I'm working on that. Hopefully next year. I have other places I'll be traveling this year. For one, I'll be going to Dayton, Ohio in April to see my son Christian, who is performing with the Blue Knights indoor percussion group. They're a world-class group. And he just sent me, I think on Sunday night, one of their rehearsal videos. And it's so cool to watch him play with this group. And it's just next level stuff from anything he's ever done. So it's really exciting. I'm excited for him. And the producer and I are going to travel to Dayton, Ohio in April to go see him and watch the finals. So that'll be cool. And then other things on the horizon with the boys. Our number 3 son, Ian, will be playing in the battalion drum and bugle corps again this summer. He plays the tuba. So he got contracted to do that again. So I'll be traveling back to Indianapolis in August to see the finals for that. And no, I will not be riding any scooters anymore. My scooter life is over. After this kind of leg break, I've had to reevaluate some of my adventurous life, which I think is going to include selling my motocross bike. Yes, I am a proud dad, Tom, for sure. All my boys are doing cool things. This house is a music house. Everything is music that goes on here. It's pretty exciting. And speaking of family and the producer, her birthday was on Sunday night. So happy birthday to Mrs. Fisher, aka the producer. Yeah, it's good stuff going on here. Good stuff happening. Her birthday. Let's see. So speaking of birthdays, today, January 14th, you guys can all put this in your pocket and carry around. Happy birthday to LL Cool J. Yes. And actor Jason Bateman. There's that. Today is National Dress Up Your Pet Day. Have you ever noticed that when people who dress up their pets, they and their pets have a similar look? They do. And like a similar personality almost. It's pretty weird. Have you ever noticed that? So today is Dress Up Your Pet Day. We have no pets. Well, I guess that's not 100% true. We don't have dogs or cats. My son, Elliot, has a gecko that he's had for years, and her name is Biscuit. and she's a low maintenance pet. He takes care of her, lives in a terrarium. Is that what you call it? A terrarium in his bedroom. So I almost never see her. So that's the closest thing to a pet that we have. It is National Hot Pastrami Day. So pastrami sandwich. If, there's your lunch plans. And for those of us that are here in Boise, who's tried Fat Guys over on Overland and near Mountain View High School, between Eagle and Locust Grove? Really great sandwiches. Fat Guys. I don't think anybody working there is fat, though, that I've seen. The clientele, maybe. I'm going to get myself in trouble. So, yeah. Well, I mentioned the leg, breaking the leg. It's been 5 months, which is seems absurd. And, when I originally broke my leg, they said I would be out for 3 months for sure. And that turned into 4 months before I could actually really do much of anything. And here we are at 5. My next doctor's appointment is this coming Thursday. I'm probably going to get x-rayed again to make sure that everything's staying together as it should. And just see how everything's looking, how everything's going. It's, man, this has been a long uphill battle, but I'm doing it. One thing that seems to really, really help is going to the gym and getting in the pool and walking back and forth across the pool. I think the pool is about 100 feet long. So I get in there and I just keep walking back and forth and back and forth. And so yesterday I did that for an hour. I would walk back and forth for 10 minutes, and then I would do these little leg exercises, and I would do a rep of these 10. I can't show you what I'm doing, but it takes about 5 minutes to do that. Nice, slow and controlled, and then walk again for 10 minutes. And man, that's really, really helping me relearn how to walk, get my balance going, all of those kind of things. It's good. So really good progress with that. Playing drums, no problem. My leg feels a lot better. It doesn't feel sluggish like it did in the past weeks. Just these little things keep coming along. It feels better. There's a spot on the inside of my leg where the bone almost came through, and it used to be, I don't know, about 3 inches in diameter. It has now shrunk down to about the size of my thumbnail, and it doesn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt at all. 2 weeks. Well, was it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, it felt like it was on fire. It hurt so bad. I told Mary on New Year's Day, I said, if it feels this bad tomorrow, we need to go see if something's wrong at the doctor. And I woke up the next day and it totally felt fine. So I don't know. Strange stuff, but good stuff. Midline back in the saddle again. That feels so good to play with those guys. Cliff Miller, we have a show with Cliff on February 8th at the Sapphire Room here in Boise. I don't know where we sit with ticket sales, but I know that show, the last 2 years we've done it, sold out each time. And it's a great venue if you've never been there. It's not overwhelmingly loud, and it's a kind of a dinner atmosphere deal. So come check us out there. If you want more information on that, you can go to cliffmillermusic.com or on Facebook. Check it out. If you're on YouTube, search up Cliff Miller, and there's some live video and things that you could see, which that would fill you all in, right? So I wanted to mention, before we get into today's topic, my buddy Bart Robley, who lives in Orange, California, which is near Los Angeles. I talked to him yesterday, and he is getting ready to do a drumming masterclass at Adam's Drum Room in Riverside, California, which is awesome. But the seating is limited to 20 people, and it's $50 to be there in person. So he called me and asked my opinion of including his drumming masterclass online, so that it would be live, streaming live on Zoom. And I thought, man, that would be really cool. And then he thought, if I had any students that might want to join in on that, because he has students all over the country that he teaches and obviously can't be there in person. And so he's going to do an online addition to that. And that's only $25 to join it. And it's about an hour plus long masterclass. And I believe it's all going to be revolving around the molar technique. So drummers out there, you're watching the Drummergy Podcast. I'll share more information once I know more. That also happens on the afternoon of February 8th. So it's a really great opportunity for any of you out there. You can find Bart Robley online just about anywhere, or if you need help getting a hold of him, just send me a message and I'll help you get a hold of him. But it's a class well worth taking. I have a show that day, so I'm sure I'll be loading in and doing sound checks. So unless the stars realign a little bit, I'm not able to participate, but man, I'd sure like to be involved with that and support my friends. It's good stuff. So let's get into today's topics. When you start talking about gear and start talking about what the best gear is, some people get a little bent out of shape because this brand is the best brand ever, and everything else sucks. Well, I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of great gear out there by a lot of great manufacturers. And so it's going to come down to personal choice. And my personal choice, move to the side here, is Vader drumsticks. I went backwards. Let's see. Vader drumsticks. There we go. They're great drumsticks. And I'm going to kind of walk you through my experience from the beginning on how I wound up using Vader drumsticks. And there's interestingly enough, some connections back to some sticks I tried earlier in my life that were actually made by Vader. And that might be why I liked them so much when I got started with them. So as we get into this, I was going to show my phone here. One really cool, Chris McCall says, here we go. Buckle up, everybody. These gear talks can incite riots. And James Harrison, I'm glad you're here. Some people have way too much gear. Glad I'm not one of them. Yeah, right. James, you could sell 3/4 of everything you have and still have too much. I think that's true. I think that's true. So as we get into this, who makes the best drumsticks discussion, please, if you're on your phone or if you're on your computer, one thing that will really, really help me out, because I've launched the new Drummergy Podcast. These episodes are going to end up on Spotify and things of that nature too. I'm now streaming live to 3 spots at the moment: my personal Facebook page, my YouTube channel, and my Fred Rock School of Drumming Facebook page. Just trying to get the reach out there. I think this is fun to do, and I'm just curious how we can build this. So one thing that'll really help me out, my friends, is hit the like button. I know people say this in their videos all the time. It really is important to those people, and such as myself. So hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, it takes you this long. Where am I? I'm backwards. It takes you this long to hit the subscribe button. Boom. It's that easy. And it helps. It helps more than you might realize. So please do that. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's my sales pitch of the day. All right. So I got started playing drums when I was 10. And that's not an uncommon story for people to start out. I was born at a very young age. That's what my dad always says. And it's true, right? We're born at a very young age. No, most people, when they get started with playing an instrument, it's probably when they were a kid. You know, not everybody, but some of them. Good morning, Thomas. So I started playing when I was 10, and my first drum teacher I had gave me a pair of drumsticks and gave me a drum pad. I don't remember the brand of the drumsticks that I got, but they were aluminum and they had plastic tips. Now, to me, I didn't know anything about drumsticks whatsoever. Nothing, zero. And so I thought they were cool. I thought, oh, what did it, I always thought the drumsticks were made of wood. And, I was none the wiser. So I was playing with these sticks. Now I'm guessing they must have been like a 5A or something like that, or a 7A. They were small. I think 7A. Anyway, I played those that whole first year. And these were like indestructible drumsticks. And, I'm just playing on a drum pad. I didn't have a drum set yet. So when I got into school band the following year, is it the following year? Yeah. When I got into school band, then, it was required that you play the bell kit and learn pitch percussion and those kind of things, which I really turned my nose up at because those weren't drums. That wasn't drums to me. So I switched to clarinet for a short time. Then my family moved to Spokane, Washington, and I got involved with band there, which the school I ended up going to, they had a class 100% dedicated to learning drum rudiments because they were, and we played traditional grip, by the way. They were grooming us to be in the high school marching band. So 6th, 7th grade, here you are working. You guys have seen those Remo drum pads with the gray ring and the kind of weird coated head thing on it. They're awful to play on, but that's what we played on. Those traditional grip, and I think they were Regal tip sticks, and I think they were, if I remember correctly, the size 2B. So they weren't marching sticks that we were using, just 2B size drumsticks. And so that was my first introduction into an actual wood drumstick, was Regal. And I think that was the thing that was pushed in public school, was to buy Regal tip brand drumsticks. That was the thing. And so, man, I would be guessing what year this was. So it's probably not even worth the time to sit here and ponder. But going along, so 10, 11, 12. So I'm 12 years old, I think, when this is happening, playing Regal tip sticks. My family moved back to Caldwell, Idaho, got back in the band class. And so I was already accustomed to playing in a classroom environment where there was like 40 some of us learning rudiments, traditional grip. And here we moved back to Idaho. And now I'm in this, and the band director was really a jerk. And I've talked about this off and on the last couple of years. Gail Maxey was the band director's name. And I didn't like him much, and he didn't like me. And I don't know why. I don't know. I think that I had this desire and passion for music, and this guy just seemed like he was against me for whatever reason and trying to prevent me from moving forward. And I think one thing that he did, now I don't know if, in hindsight, if this was genius or if maybe he was trying to discourage me, but I came in, I knew all these rudiments and things like that, and had a pretty good drum roll. He said, if you're going to, so I was in 7th grade. So he said, if you're going to be in 7th grade band, you have to go back to 6th grade band and learn how to play the bell kit and the xylophone and the marimba and things like that. And I said, okay. There was no resistance from me. I was like, I'm going to play your game. I'll go back and do this now. Because I thought, well, if that's the necessary step to get to the next point that I want to do, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it quickly. So I did. I went back to 6th grade band. Now, the 7th grade band drummers made fun of me because I had to go back to 6th grade band. The 6th grade band drummers made fun of me because I was a 7th grade drummer who didn't know anything. So it didn't matter what side of the fence I was on, I was being made fun of. But I still didn't let that discourage me. So I learned how to play the bell kit. I learned how to read music. And that ended up serving me pretty well as I went through high school. Now, once I was out of high school, I didn't have to read music anymore. So I didn't. And I kind of lost that particular skill, which now I sometimes I have several bell kits here at the house and a piano and all of that. And I think, man, if I could just carve out some time and relearn how to read pitch percussion, that would be probably a good thing. Because I can read drum music and drum rhythms perfectly fine. It's the pitch stuff that I struggle with. So it's one of those little hurdles I would like to just find a way and find some time to get in there and get some work done. So I'm in seventh. I did all that, went back to seventh grade band, but the sticks that were always suggested were the Regal Tip brand drumsticks. And I'm pretty sure at this point they were the size 2B stick. And this is just what was recommended to me and what I did. And then when I got into junior high jazz band, the different band director for that, Dick Miller was his name, Mr. Miller. I was pretty good friends with his kids. One was a year older than me and one was in the same, or maybe he was 2 years older, and one was a year in the same class as me. So at any rate, he said, "You're not going to play jazz drums with these huge drumsticks." Okay, so I'm still just relying on what my music teachers are telling me. And I think he suggested like a 7A size stick and with nylon tips. So this began my journey in experimenting with different drumsticks. And to be quite honest, a lot of times I bought sticks solely based on how they looked, not necessarily their function or the sound that they helped make or how they felt in my hands. I bought them for looks. So drummers out there might remember, and I don't even know if this company still exists. If they do, I'm not aware. I'm one of those guys that when I start to like narrow down and find out what I like, I just stick with that and I don't look at anything else until one of my students walks through the door with some kind of drumstick that might be a little gimmicky, or the latest thing is every Christmas I'll have students come back and they got these light up clear drumsticks, and you turn the little button on and they light up with the like LED lights, and they can be blue or green or whatever. They feel like playing with a rubber wand. It's just they're a toy kind of a deal. But I digress. Back to junior high jazz band. So I bought sticks based on how they look, and the company that made these day glow colored drumsticks called Hot Sticks. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, Hot Sticks. So I bought a pair of blue 7A black nylon tip drumsticks. I didn't even play with them. I just took them. I bought them and I took them to school the next day, and I'm sitting in the chair waiting my turn to get up on the drum kit. And so it's my turn, and I get up there, and you have to play a swing beat. Well, I couldn't do that, or at least I couldn't do it very well. And so Mr. Miller came and, kind of pushed me, not push, but, it was obvious he needed me to get off the drum stool. Let's put it that way. And then took the sticks right out of my hand. He goes, "No, like this." And I felt really embarrassed because I felt like I was on display for the whole class that I couldn't do this swing beat very well. And so he just grabbed those sticks out of my hand and he started playing, and he took maybe 2-3 swings at the ride cymbal and the stick just broke. Okay, so I'm in the 8th grade. I'm pretty sure I'm in the 8th grade. I just bought these drumsticks. I tried playing with them for maybe 10 seconds. My band teacher grabs them out of my hand, sort of embarrasses me and then plays and then breaks my sticks. So that upset me. And so I had some tears in my eyes, to be honest. And I was sitting there and I felt really embarrassed. And this jerk just broke my sticks that I just bought. And I think he recognized at the end of the class how I was feeling. And he came up and said, "I'm going to buy you a pair of real drumsticks." And he said, "Not these passing fad looking things. Like, I'm going to get you a real pair of sticks." Okay. So, I don't know if we did. I don't remember if we did jazz twice a week. I think it was twice a week. So a couple days later, here we are again in the rehearsal room, and he hands me a pair of sticks. They were Regal Tip sticks again. I'm like, okay. So we're back to the Regal Tip brand drumsticks. And like I said earlier, that seemed to be the thing that public school systems were all about, pushing Regal Tip brand drumsticks. Okay, fine. Get into high school and I start experimenting with different sizes, and I at that time I had a mishmash of brands of cymbals. Like when I first got my first drum kit, it had a Zildjian ride, and I think it had Paiste hi-hats and maybe a Sabian crash. So it was like just like a grab bag of cymbals. And as I progressed in drumming, I got a better drum set and I got better cymbals. And you know, I wasn't like brand loyal to cymbals, but I started really liking Zildjian cymbals. And I thought, well, I really like Zildjian cymbals. Let's try Zildjian drumsticks. Now, again, I'm buying drumsticks a lot of times based on how they look. So Zildjian was making these all black drumsticks. And now at this point in my life, I'm really into the band Striper. Really, really a big fan of the band Striper. And so I would take yellow electrical tape and I would spin those around the stick to have these yellow and black striped drumsticks. Now, I thought that the Zildjian sticks held up really, really well. Like, because I tried the Regal Tip sticks, which was always pushed in school. And then you go to the music store and their rack of sticks, you would see Vic Firth, Zildjian. So I tried those and had pretty good luck with both Vic Firth sticks and with Zildjian sticks. I kind of gravitated towards the Zildjian sticks more. I think mostly, again, because they were black and I could wrap yellow electrical tape. And I thought when you spun your stick in the air, they looked really cool. And they did. So that's what I ran with for quite a while. Now, those of you that are in the Boise area who know Rob Thaler at the time was teaching guitar lessons at American Music in Caldwell. And that was the store that I frequented. And I would go there for drum lessons with my black and yellow striped drumsticks. And he would always make fun of me. I just took that as he was just kind of lightly giving me a hard time. Not that he was trying to make me feel bad or anything. And that was my first introduction to the band Redstone. And then that was my path that led to becoming friends with James Harrison. And I've talked about James many times on this show. And James was the first person I ever saw in person that had this really cool red drum set with a drum rack that went all the way around. And then it had pretty sure it had a second level with cymbals hanging down. It was just like the coolest thing I'd ever seen in person. It was like, I only saw that in magazines, and here this local drummer had this really super cool drum kit. And I was just like googly eyed every time I would see it. It was really inspiring. So, back to the drumsticks. I played the Zildjian ones for a while, and then Tama put out a drumstick called Tama Power Tools, and I was playing Tama drums. I had this pretty new Tama. Jim, good morning to you. Jim, every time I see you pop up, I say, we got to have this phone call conversations, and then it never happens. we got to figure this out. We got to figure it out. So I had this nice Tama drum kit, double bass, a gazillion toms. I was huge fan of Neil Peart from Rush, and just trying to emulate him. That was kind of my gold standard of drummers, was Neil Peart. And so Tama drums, and and Neil had been playing Tama drums. And so, you just kind of buy what your idols have. Well, so I tried out Tama Power Tool drumsticks, and they seemed okay. Okay. I bought them because they said Tama on them. And then there was this drumstick that appeared called K7000. And I didn't really know much about K7000. I didn't know if that was a size. I didn't know if that was a brand. I didn't know anything about them, but I thought they were interesting. So I bought 2 or 3, maybe 4 pair of those. And yeah, I was going to get to that, James. James has already seen this movie. Yes, I was going to tie that together, Mr. Harrison, for sure. Yeah, so K7000. Of the sticks I had been trying up until that point, I played with the K7000 stick, and I thought they were great. They weren't flashy. I didn't buy them because they were painted some color, and they were wood tip, and they seemed to last forever, and I really, really liked them. And then I think somewhere along the way, like I said, you would buy the equipment that your idols have, right? So Neil Peart was playing Tama drums. You'll be patient. No, man, you can weigh in whenever you want. I was hoping you'd catch this episode. I think that Neil Peart was playing ProMark sticks. So I decided, well, I'm gonna try these ProMark sticks, and I did, and somebody from something from YouTube just popped up. Oh, it's some kind of bot thing, I think. Boy, somebody's advertising something for something on YouTube on my thing. I don't know how to get rid of that. That's something I got to figure out, because I've seen other people do live streams on YouTube, and they get things on here where they got to block certain things, and it looks like whoever Tact is needs to go away. If you like him, join us, or I'm not a bot, bruh. LOOOL. Well, being that he called me bruh, maybe he's a teenager. I don't know. All right, you've hijacked my story long enough. So I tried out ProMark drumsticks. I thought they were great. And maybe I thought they were great because Neil Peart used them. So away I went. Now, I continued to play ProMark sticks pretty faithfully. But you know what? I didn't like them as much as I liked the K7000 or the Zildjian sticks, for that matter. But I kept going. And then I ended up going to Florida. I need stream moderators to kick people like that out. Yeah, I think there's some way to block things, and I'll have to figure that out, because I'm new to using StreamYard. So little distraction there on the side. Hey, I know you're doing this podcast right now, but we do things to help people with their podcasts, and we make these little reels for people, and if you want to buy it, let us know. That's a pushy salesman. I don't like pushy salesman people. I think that if you're in business for real, that you would actually look at my content more clearly and then message me and build a relationship instead of just butting in on my live stream and trying to sell me something, bruh. Everybody go like whoever Tact is. Give him a like, give him a subscribe. Help that guy out. He needs help. All right, so let's move on. I ended up getting a job with a touring band from Florida, and we did high school assembly programs for a company called Worldwide Showcase. Now, Worldwide Showcase, the company themselves, they had a Yamaha drum endorsement, Zildjian cymbal endorsement, and Capella stick endorsement. Oddly, they didn't have a drumhead endorsement, which would have really helped. However, so they supplied Worldwide Showcase, these companies, with drums and cymbals and sticks. And I didn't get my sticks for free, but I had to buy them, and they cost me at this time of 1992, 93, they cost me $1 a pair, and I was still playing the size 2B. They were some of the junkiest drumsticks I ever played in my life. Capella sticks. It wasn't unusual to grab a brand new one and take one swing and they would break. So I was, let's see, how many are in a brick? 12, 24. I was ordering 4 bricks of sticks every 2 weeks. That's a lot of drumsticks. There's 12 pair of sticks in a brick. So what is that? 48? 48. And so, $96 a month I spent in drumsticks. Boy, this guy just won't go away. Sorry if I came out harsh, but sure thing. I'll reach out more formally with an email. See now, okay. That's how you do business. You don't interrupt somebody's live stream to sell them something. I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you a story. That's how it's working here on my end, buddy. Okay, so Capella sticks. Just I used them because they were that affordable, okay? And that's what the company had. Once I came back to town, I started using ProMark sticks again, pretty faithfully. And then I got a drumming gig with a band from Michigan, a touring cover band. So, I didn't have any endorsements, but I was on the road and newly married, by the way. And I leave for 3 months to go on tour. Now, when you're playing three sets a night, 45-minute sets, one of the last runs I did with that band, we were in South Carolina and those clubs closed at 4 a.m, not 2 like here, but 4. And so we would play 7 45-minute sets. That was ridiculous. Oh, talk about a grind. That was a grind. But in order to save money on drumsticks, I started buying the Ahead brand drumsticks. If you guys know what the Ahead sticks are, they've got like this aluminum rod, and then they have the handle on them, and then they have this plastic sleeve that slips on, and then the tip screws back on. So you can play, and then when the sleeve part of the stick wears out, you can unscrew the tip, take the sleeve off, put a new one on. And I want to say they were like $32 a pair or something like that. Well, guess what? Every single kind of drumstick breaks. They all do. Every drumstick breaks. So here these sticks are supposed to last a long time. Guaranteed. Well, you know what? I'm traveling. If I break this guaranteed drumstick, what am I going to do? Travel 8 hours back to somewhere else and exchange them? No. And that also led to where, you play with the stick, and then the tip end wears out and you flip them over. Now you're using the butt end of the stick to play it. And that's not an uncommon story either. A lot of ways where drummers are trying to save money by doing that. So, That was the case with wood sticks. You couldn't do those with the head sticks. But I remember I took one brand new stick and I brand new out of the bag. One hit, the thing folds into a 90 degree angle, just boop. So that was a rough go trying to figure out how to make sticks. Well, what do you do? Well, you could play lighter, yeah, but you're playing in a heavy metal hard rock band, playing Korn, Marilyn Manson, Seven Dust, all of these heavy bands. This cover band covered heavy stuff. Which was fun, but you couldn't play wimpy. You couldn't be a wimpy guy up there drumming away. You had to deliver the goods. So anyway, I ended up coming home from that tour and, recollecting my financial disaster of being on tour, and started buying the ProMark sticks again, 2B. And I would continually use those. And then I had other drummer friends of mine out there who were touring in cover bands who had endorsements with a brand called Silver Fox sticks. Now, I don't know if Silver Fox even exists anymore. There was a drum shop in Boise that was kind of short-lived, not Musicians Pro Shop. We all were in love with Musicians Pro Shop, not Guitar Center or Dorsey Music. There was another one. I can't remember what it was called, but they carried the Silver Fox drumsticks. I bought one pair to try. They didn't last one rehearsal with midline, and I was like, nah, I'm done with those. So, and I'm not one of those drummers that I buy some sticks and then I have a little defect or one breaks. I go running back to the store crying, you sold me bad sticks. No, that's the nature of drumsticks. You got to realize that. Idaho Percussion. Yes. Thank you, James. That's what it was. Yes. That's where I bought the Silver Fox sticks. So fast forward to the year 2000. Midline's got a show, and this is a bad thing, guys. Don't wait till show day to buy gear. Plan ahead. I went into Guitar Center to buy a brick of ProMark 2B wood tip sticks, and I had a show that night. Well, Guitar Center was sold out, not only of that size ProMark stick, but everything else that they had ProMark was all gone. And my choices were Vic Firth and Vader. I had never tried Vader sticks before under that name Vader. I had seen them, but by this time I was so rooted in. I had my roots planted with ProMark stick. That was my stick. That was the someday I'm going to be a ProMark artist thinking. There was another drummer in town who I was more of an acquaintance with than friends. And he sort of snidely made this face at me like, you should be playing Vader drumsticks anyway. And just like his attitude and the way that he said that, I almost didn't buy them just to spite him. But I was like, what's it going to hurt? So I bought a brick of Vader 2B wood tip sticks. I fell in love with them. They, now, to be completely fair, I didn't notice a difference in how they felt in my hands. But one thing for sure is they way outlasted anything that I had played on ever. Like, they wore out. They didn't break. They would just eventually wear out. Where normally I would go through 2.5, sometimes 3 pairs of sticks in a show. I didn't break anything. And the sticks that I did use for the show, I continue to use for the next week or so in rehearsal. They were like the Energizer battery of drumsticks. They just keep going and going and going. And I tried those sticks and I never looked back because they lasted so long and they were just so great. I just continued to buy those sticks. And not only, they weren't really price point wise between like ProMark and Vic Firth and stuff like that. It was pretty comparable. I mean, you're talking pennies difference. So I would just continue to buy Vader drumsticks from that point on. So that was in 2000. That was 25 years ago when this exchange happened. So of all the years I've been playing drums, I've used Vader drumsticks the longest, 25 years of playing Vader. Somewhere in there, I had another friend of mine. He tried to sell me on playing Vic Firth sticks. And I said, okay, I'll play your game. And we did like a comparison thing where we got together because he used 2B Vic Firth wood tip sticks and I was using the Vader equivalent. And we spent an afternoon, and guess what happened? He ended up switching to playing Vader drumsticks. He was blown away that he had to admit that his Vic Firth sticks didn't hold up like the Vader drumsticks did. So it was a fun little moment. It was a fun little moment. Now, I don't say any of this to bag on any other brand of drumstick except maybe Capella. Okay. My experience with the Capella drumsticks was terrible. Joffrey Stone is asking, do barrel tips break more frequently than acorn tip? In y'all's opinion, still figuring this one out. You know what, Joff? I don't play with the barrel tip sticks. I use the acorn tip sticks. And our buddy James Harrison here, if you go to his Facebook page, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Well, it was Tuesday because it's called Tip Tuesday. Wait a second. Maybe it was last Tuesday. I don't know. Recently, James made a video about different tips of sticks. And I think he's going to do a series on those, if I'm not mistaken, on what you're going to get from the different styles of drum tip sticks there are out there. So make sure you follow him or ask him that question. James is an encyclopedia of drum knowledge. Ren Shaw is here. I've played a few brands over the years. Vader drumsticks rule. Well, cheers to that. I cannot disagree. I cannot disagree. The taper is the biggest culprit in sticks breaking. Yeah, I mean, that could be a whole show on why drumsticks break, but I got 10 minutes left to wrap this up. So I switched to Vader drumsticks in 2000 and was really, really happy with them. And let's see, 2016, Matt is here. Matt, how are you, my friend? Guys, Matt Vanderbo is here. He's just popped up on YouTube. Go to Matt's page, Matt's Music Minute, and give him a like and a subscribe. Matt does music for film and TV, and he's an incredible friend, and he is an expert in his field. And if you want to know more about writing music for that, check out all his videos, and they are amazing, and it's really eye-opening and educational. Just trying to get your daughter ready for school. Yep, Mary's doing that with Jude right now. You're a good dad, Matt. You're a great dad. Okay, so about 2016, I was getting more and more serious about teaching drum lessons. So who better to solicit information from than my buddy James Harrison, who also taught drum lessons, taught percussion and things like that at Boise State, and longtime friend. And the other cool thing is James had been working for Vader drumsticks. So I just wanted to meet with James to talk about teaching. And so when we got together, we had lunch. He brought me like 12 pairs of different Vader drumsticks, which was awesome. I didn't ask for that, but he said, try out these sticks and let me know your opinion on how each of these sticks worked for you. And then we'll get together again and discuss it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Great. Yeah. And I think I told him the story at that time that I've been playing since Vader Drumsticks 2000, and he just somewhere in the conversation he goes, "This is really interesting." I don't remember how he worded it exactly, but he said, "I work for Vader Drumsticks, right?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Well, every drummer in town has beat me up or hunted me down or whatever, trying to get free drumsticks or to try to get a deal on drumsticks or anything like that." And he's like, "Everybody's done this except you." And I thought about that for a second. I thought, well, I'm friends with James because I'm friends with James, not because he can give me free sticks or discounted sticks or anything. The thought never even crossed my mind. So I thought that was an interesting little moment. And then he talked about endorsement stuff with me. And I said, "I don't even know how endorsements work." And he said, "Well, we couldn't bring you on to Vader right now because you don't have a lot going on anymore as far as playing live, not like I had in the past. And I don't have enough students." But he said that they would keep an eye on me, so to speak, and see how I progress. Well, in 2018, James handed me this pair of sticks called the Vader Extended Play. And I did a video demonstration of those sticks. And then soon after that, I was brought on board the Vader family as an educator endorser. And then later on, within the last 2 years, they changed that on the website on my profile to educator artist. So I thought that was pretty cool too, to have that. And so I have this great relationship with Vader Drumsticks, thanks to James Harrison. And anybody I've ever dealt with Vader gets back to me right away, which is pretty amazing considering some of the biggest names in the world, drummers, are using Vader Drumsticks, and they respond to me quickly. It's awesome. And later on, they started putting my name on drumsticks. I switched over to using the 5B size in 2009, and I felt like I was moving less lumber around the drum set, and the 5B size just kind of became a workhorse drumstick for me. I can play jazz with the 5B, I can play hard rock with the 5B, I could do all these things with the 5B size drumstick. So it's just like a jack of all trades drumstick to me. And that I committed to putting my name and logo on those sticks. It's not a Fred Fisher designed drumstick. It was already an existing stick that they put my name on it. So it's not a signature stick. It's a stick with my signature on it. There's a difference. Really, really cool. And so I say all of this just to share my experience with different drumsticks that I've tried. In my experience, so much of how we use the stick and how we play and the style of music and the frequency in which we play all determines how long a drumstick's going to last. So for me, I play drums all the time. I'm always playing. It's my full-time job, playing drums, teaching and playing and recording. And I've got 42 drum students I see every week. So I have all of those students playing, and I'm playing with them, and then I'm recording, and then I've got rehearsal with 2 bands, and I've got shows that I play and all of this stuff. So I'm constantly got drumsticks in my hands. And thank you for Vader Drumsticks existing, because that's an important tool in our line of work, are the drumsticks that we use. And it's just been great. James says the moisture content in Vader is higher than other brands. More moisture means stronger, longer lasting sticks. Yes. And so to kind of tie a couple of these stories together real quick. First of all, if you want to know how drumsticks are made, you can just get on YouTube and you can research that. You can go to the Vader.com website and learn about the history. So here's a little flyover history view. Jack Adams back in the Northeast had a drum shop called Jack's Drum Shop. And I think his grandsons are Alan Vader, and I can't think of his brother's name off the top of my head. James knows all of this stuff. Really easy to find. So they started making drumsticks in the late 50s, and they ended up making drumsticks for Vic Firth, and they made drumsticks for Zildjian, and they made drumsticks for Buddy Rich. And somewhere in the late 70s, according to the website, there was a labor dispute with Regal Tip Sticks, and so Vader took over making drumsticks for them. They also made the K7000 drumstick, which I really, really loved as a high school kid. And I believe they also made drumsticks for Thomas. So they made drumsticks for just about everybody. Vader did, until 1990. Then Vader appeared on the scene as their own brand company. So no wonder I liked the K7000 drumstick so much. No wonder I liked the Zildjian drumstick so much. No wonder I liked the Tama power tool so much. They're all made by the people that are making the sticks that I love so much right now. And that's pretty awesome, that whole thing. And, you know, there's appeared on the scenes in recent years other drumstick manufacturers who aren't really big, like Vader and ProMark and Vic Firth. There's a fairly new, I would call like a boutique kind of drumstick company out there. I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to be like dragging them through the mud with this story. But really quick story. I follow them on Facebook, and I think I'm friends with the guy that manufactures them. But one thing similar to whoever this guy was in YouTube trying to sell me something, this guy made a post with a picture of Kenny Aronoff, who is a Vic Firth artist, and Kenny Aronoff's been with Vic Firth forever, as far as I know. Had a picture of him, and then he's holding some Vic Firth sticks, and then a picture of this company's drumsticks, and more or less criticizing Kenny Aronoff for using these drumsticks, and how that the big drumsticks companies have taken over, and there's no room for the little guy, or something to that effect. Okay, I don't remember how it was worded exactly. So I took a screenshot of it, and I thought, Kenny Aronoff probably wouldn't appreciate his likeness being used in this advertisement. B, all these manufacturers know each other. Like the guys who run Vader know the guys who run Vic Firth and know the guys who run ProMark. They're all friends, as far as I know. They know each other, and they're not cutting each other down. And they don't only just know drumstick manufacturers, they know people who make drum heads at all these different companies, and they know the people at all the drum manufacturers in the cylinder. They all know each other, and they all keep tabs on each other. So I took a screenshot and sent this to my guy at Vader Drumsticks, and he said, "Thank you for sending that along. I'm gonna send this to so and so at Vic Firth Sticks, and this isn't going to go well for this joker." So be careful about how you present yourself. It's really, really important. And, you know, I mentioned like these people know each other, and, you know, Chad Brandolini is my guy at Vader Drumsticks. And, I was giving him an update earlier late last year about my condition of my leg, and told him that I also got an endorsement with Aquarian Drumheads, and he responded, "Hey, glad you're getting better, man. Chris Brady over at Aquarian Drumheads is just the greatest guy to deal with." And so that's a drumstick manufacturer talking about a drumhead manufacturer. These people all know each other. So when this particular drumstick manufacturer posted this picture of Kenny Aronoff and kind of making fun of him for the sticks that he was using, I thought, that's just bad business. That's bad business. So who makes the best drumsticks? My opinion strongly is Vader Drumsticks. This hoodie is great, by the way. It's so nice. And that's the kind of drumstick I recommend to my students also, is using Vader Drumsticks. And yeah, I've got kids, I've got students of all ages. Now, the really young ones parents are relying 100% on my recommendation, as did my parents when my high school band teachers and my junior high teachers are saying, okay, buy Regal tip sticks. That was what was pushed in the public school system a lot. I think that Vic Firth is the company that gets pushed a lot in the education world, and Innovative Percussion is also one of those, which that's fine. But then I've got adults also who have done the experiment with drumsticks, and they've landed where they've landed. And some of them use different brand sticks than Vader, which I have no problem with. But when we start having these discussions about, hey, I want to try this drumstick, what do you think? Well, in all the time I order sticks from Vader, every once in a while they'll slip in a 1 to 3 pair of something else, as a just like, hey, check these out kind of a thing. And then last fall, James Harrison sent me a big box of sticks. There must have been like, I don't know, 30 some pair of sticks in this box he sent me, and all different sizes and things like that. And as I went along teaching, I would have students, they would maybe break a stick or something. And I would I'd think, this is a good moment. So I would grab a pair of sticks and like, here, try these. And they would try those sticks and they're like, oh, wow, these are amazing. So then they just keep buying that stick because it was a big one. I gave them a pair of sticks, which was given to me to give away. And it made their day. And now they're like, oh, I love these Vader drumsticks. I'm never going to switch to anything else. But I have that group of students from early teens through maybe college age that they're doing the same thing I did at that age, where they're trying a bunch of different stuff to see what they like. And I'm perfectly cool with that. I think it's an important learning thing to happen as they're developing and learning how to play their instrument. And the drumsticks do make a difference in how you play and how things feel when you hit cymbals and how drums feel when you hit them, and playing, how easy can you play a drum roll? How, students that want to play fast music, they maybe want a lighter stick to move quicker. They're not going to play with a 2B size stick, or maybe they will. I don't know. But there's a stick for every style and way of playing. And I think that Vader is really that company that provides the best tools in my opinion, based on my experience. Okay. I always run into people that say, well, I bought a pair of Regal tip sticks in 1978 and I still have them. Well, when was the last time you used them? 1978. Well, no wonder they're lasting that long. Did you use them every day for 5 hours? Probably not. Probably not. It's so subjective to how often we play and how we play and the style of music we play. Like, I have a pair of brushes that they're Regal tip brand brushes I've had forever, but I rarely play anything that requires brushes. But if I need to play something with brushes, I have them and I'll grab them. But I don't play hard rock music with brushes. They wouldn't last 5 minutes in that scenario. So it's just the right tool for the job, and just go with that. So that's my opinion. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll be back next week and the week after and the week after. I'm still trying to figure out who I'm going to have as a guest the last week of January, but I've started compiling a list of people to join me, and that's going to be a lot of fun too, to get some other people yapping away. But if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. It really does help. Really does help the algorithms and things like that. Got a couple comments here. James Harrison says, if you break sticks, you play with bad technique. That statement really bothers me. And I agree with you 100%. James, we could go down this rabbit hole, and James, I will be soliciting you to be a guest on my show as well, because you're a well of knowledge, and you have so much experience. Yeah, James is absolutely correct. So James did this video a few months ago, and I loved it, and I reshared it. It was talking about putting dampening materials on your drums. It doesn't mean if you excuse me, blah, blah, blah. Using gels, using tape. There's a new company called Dots, I think, is what spawned this video for James. And then people will claim, well, if you know how to tune drums properly, you don't have to put any dampening or muffling on your drums. Not true. What is the sound that you are trying to have? Kenny Aronoff is a drummer I talk about frequently, and Kenny did this like studio tour with Warren Hewart on his channel. And Kenny's, he's saying, yeah, I recorded this song for this artist, and they wanted a really dry drum sound. So he just put little tea towels over each drum. Does that mean that Kenny Aronoff doesn't know how to tune drums? No. It means they were going for a certain desired sound, and that was required to get that sound was to put the towels on the drums. I've done the same thing when I'm recording for people. Maybe they want a super dry country, super deep sounding snare, and I will put a big heavy towel on my snare drum and I get that sound. It doesn't mean I don't know how to tune a snare drum. Okay. I could get off on a tangent, but yeah, it's just to, say again what James said. If you're breaking drumsticks, you're playing with bad technique. No, not necessarily true. I see people play fine with bad technique all the time. I watched them. I think they could become a better drummer if they just made these few little adjustments, but they're not breaking sticks because they're playing German grip or French grip and not this other way or whatever. We could go down the rabbit hole. Tom is here. He says, I use Vic Firth's signature series Omar Hakim nylon drumsticks, rounded tip. Seems to allow me to do jazz style jams. Met Omar, super cool, like you. Oh, well, thanks, Tom. I will try Vader. Yeah, man, there's so many great options out there. All these sick manufacturers have a lot of great options. And, did you gravitate towards those sticks as a result of meeting Omar, or were you using those sticks prior to, and then you happened to meet him? I'm just curious because I think, just like myself, you tend to gravitate towards the equipment that your heroes or that your idols are using because it seems to work so well for them, and a lot of us try to emulate those things. And I'm just curious. So Tom, if you're still here, I'll give you a moment to respond. But I do need to wrap up my show here pretty quick. When I'm really interested in something, I could talk. Yes. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for saying that, Tom. I appreciate that. So yeah, if you look up on the Vader website and look at their products that they have, and he showed you why he uses them. Well, that's super cool. And so that's a relationship that Omar has with Vic Firth, where they got together and they developed a drumstick to fit his playing style, to fit his personality, to fit his technique, to fit whatever is in here and his soul that translates to the drums. He wanted a drumstick that was going to reflect all of that. Now, I'm not telling you, Tom, not to use those sticks, okay? I'm not telling you that at all. But what I am telling you is you don't have the same thing here and in his soul that he has, because that's him. So you need to find out, Tom, what's in here in your soul and sticks that work for you, if that makes sense. And that might be his signature stick for you. It sounds like that's the case at the moment. But yeah, if you want to experiment, I think I really truly believe that if you try the Vader sticks, you won't be disappointed. I don't think that you're going to play them and go, well, these are terrible. You might play them and say, these are really cool, but I'm more comfortable with what I have at the moment. And that, sometimes having drumsticks is like picking out underwear. It's like, what are you the most comfortable in? Seal is here. He says, I have not broke a stick yet, and I have been told I hit hard enough that my practice heads are all green masking tape. Vic Firth for you. Well, that's great, man. If they're working for you, just keep on keeping on. Now I have my opinions on how you hit drums, okay, and them looking like you took a hammer to them, and now your heads aren't flat anymore; they're concave, and they're all taped together. Let's see. Have you seen these plastic rings that keep you from losing your sticks? Are you talking about something that kind of attaches to the stick and then around your finger? I have seen things like that. I've never tried them, so I don't have an opinion on those. Now, I don't have an issue with losing my sticks when I play. If my sticks go flying out of my hands when I'm playing, it's probably because some of the buffoonery that happens when I'm playing, big movements and twirling sticks and throwing sticks and things of that nature. I don't have a problem with sweaty palms. I've never had that issue, even when it's like really sweltering hot outside. I don't have the problem with sweaty palms. Now, a lot of drummers do, and they have like grip tape and certain things that you can put on your sticks and things like what Seal's talking about. So, yeah, I don't have an opinion on those because I don't have that issue. So I've never tried them, and I'm not telling you anything one way or the other as far as that's concerned. If they work for you, awesome. I'm more concerned about your drum heads that look like soup bowls. That we could talk about forever and ever. Okay, I am going to wrap this up because I'm going to the gym, I think, to go walk in the pool and go from there. You guys, this great. So it's the Drummergy Podcast, and I thought we better talk about drum-related stuff today. James, thank you for being here and all your wisdom, being a Vader guy yourself. And Ren Shah was in here. Yeah, give Vader Drumsticks a try. You're not going to be disappointed. And, you know, history pre-1990, Vader, the same people making the sticks now were making sticks for everybody else prior to 1990. Matt, I am going to get it, buddy. I'm going to get it. Seal says, carpal tunnel, I need fixed. I even put balls on the ends to avoid that. Yeah, man, I don't have the carpal tunnel thing either, but I know a lot of people do. And that could be another show. I really believe personally that if you're suffering injury related to drumming, you're doing something wrong. No, I use the tape first so I don't make them that way, Captain Caveman. Okay, yeah, man, like I said, whatever's working for you, that's a good way to go. That's a good way to go. Okay. All right, my friends, I appreciate you hanging out. I'm going to end this and I'm going to go do my stuff for the day, teaching drum lessons, and I've got some stuff to learn myself. I got to work on some stuff my students are working on. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. All right. Awesome. James says, Seal, talk to a sports doctor. I agree with James on that too. And I got a little sidetracked. I started to say, if you have injuries due to drumming, then there's some evaluation stuff that needs to happen. I have no back problems. I have related to drumming. I have a back issue related to my landscaping business I used to have. Don't have the carpal tunnel. I don't have tennis elbow. I don't have those kind of issues. And I've been drumming for 42 years. All right. Peace to you, Tom. Love you too, Seal. Guys, I'm going to end it or I'll just keep talking. Okay. We'll see you later. Bye.